Welcome to the deep dive. So you've brought us a stack of courses today, recent AI News Digest, and looking through it, one thing is just strikingly clear. The whole discussion around artificial intelligence, it's moved completely past being hypothetical futurism.
Right. It's not a what if anymore, it's a what now.
Exactly. It's here. And it is actively redesigning these huge pillars of our lives, how we create, how we work, and how we teach the next generation. For you, the learner who really wants that thorough knowledge, but fast, our mission today is to unpack these seismic shifts. We want to go a little deeper than the headline.
And we need to.
Yeah, to really get the nuances, the technical side of it, and what it all actually means across art, business, and education.
It's an incredibly rich set of sources because the impact is so diffuse. We usually talk about AI in these narrow, specific ways, like a new chatbot or something.
Right, in a silo.
Exactly. But this digest highlights that the core technology, the deep learning power, is the same, whether it's generating a masterpiece of art or, streamlining global logistics. It's forcing these really fundamental questions about human value in completely separate fields. The pace alone is, well, it demands we take a close look.
I totally agree. The sheer breadth is just stunning. Okay, let's unpack this, and let's start where we maybe least expect it, the canvas.
Yeah.
The sources jump right into the emergence of these, incredibly sophisticated AI tools, the ones generating visual art that honestly rivals and sometimes even surpasses what a human artist can do.
It definitely does.
For anyone looking for that aha moment, that's it. Machines creating genuinely original art.
It forces a total redefinition of originality, doesn't it?
It has to.
Because the breakthrough isn't just that an AI can, paint a picture. We've had machines doing that for decades. The real difference is the mechanism behind it. These tools are using these incredibly complex generative models. They've analyzed billions of images, so the AI gets context, style, even emotional tone.
So it's not just copying.
No, not at all. It's creating novel work with what the sources keep calling impressive precision.
And that phrase, impressive precision, that seems to be the heart of this huge debate that's now raging in the creative world.
A dual debate, really?
Yeah, because on one side, you have artists who are actually embracing it. They see AI as a collaborator, a tool that helps them work faster, pushes their own style, and acts like a sort of super efficient muse.
Right. They're focusing on AI as an augmenter, something that enhances human creativity, not replaces it.
But the other side of that argument is pretty fierce.
It is, and it's much deeper than just arguing about a new tool. This is a challenge to the entire tradition, to the economy of art. If an AI can generate, say, 10,000 unique and technically perfect images in the time it takes a person to sketch one.
What happens to the value of that human skill?
Exactly, and not just the value, but the ownership.
Right. The sources get into that legal and philosophical mess. If an AI studies 1,000 artists to create a new style, who gets the copyright?
The artist. The programmer, the person who wrote the prompt.
It's a huge question.
It is. And it's forcing this real-time reevaluation of what intellectual property even means. The value might be shifting from the final image itself to the quality of the prompt.
From the craftsperson to the director.
That's a great way to put it.
So let's step back a second. For you listening, who might be more focused on business or organizational strategy, why does this very subjective debate in the art world matter?
It matters because the creative industries are always the canary in the coal mine.
Okay.
If AI can achieve impressive precision in something as uniquely human as art, then we have to accept that the same power can be applied to almost any kind of knowledge work. Legal work, market analysis, corporate strategy. It just proves that no field is immune. The bar for what humans contribute is getting higher everywhere.
That makes perfect sense. The same pressure is on. You have to justify your unique human value. Here's where it gets really interesting. Shifting gears from the canvas to the corporate world.
And it's a direct connection. The same deep learning that's challenging artists is now this huge engine for corporate efficiency. We're well past the pilot stage here.
And the sources are specific about the tasks being automated, which is key. This isn't just, basic data entry.
No, far from it.
They're talking about AI systems handling high-volume customer service, initial contract reviews, complex financial data analysis.
These were jobs, entry-level analyst jobs, paralegal jobs.
Right.
And that scope is what allows for this massive streamlining of operations. The productivity upside is, frankly, undeniable.
Yeah.
But the crucial takeaway for people in those jobs isn't just automation, it's reallocation.
Explain that.
The AI is designed to handle the repetitive, data-heavy lifting that frees up the human employees to focus their energy on things that are more strategic, more creative, more human.
So an interesting contrast.
Yeah,
The AI handles production, and the humans are supposed to handle high-level strategy.
that's the idea.
But of course, that brings up the big concern, the one everyone's heard 1,000 times, job displacement. What's the new insight on that from these sources?
The insight has moved beyond just fear. The consensus in the digest seems to be that while certain tasks are definitely being displaced, some reports say up to 60% in admin work, the result is more often job transformation.
Not elimination.
Not outright elimination, no. Because the other side of the coin is innovation. AI can find new markets, new efficiencies that were, frankly, invisible to us. So for every 10 data entry roles that get transformed, maybe you need one new AI model supervisor or a prompt engineering lead. The jobs move up the value chain.
But that's a big if, right?
Yeah.
It depends on how companies manage it.
Oh, absolutely. It's heavily dependent on management creating what's called a human-in-the-loop system. You need skilled people constantly reviewing and training the AI. Without that human oversight, the whole thing falls apart.
So the challenge isn't just about buying the tech, it's an organizational one.
That's the core mandate. You have to balance this rush to adopt new tech with proactive, and I mean proactive, workforce development. You can buy the fanciest AI in the world, but if your people can't use it, supervise it, and improve it.
You bought a very expensive paperweight.
Exactly. It demands a massive, continuous investment in upskilling your existing employees.
Which brings us perfectly to our third area. If businesses have to retrain their staff, that pressure immediately rolls downhill to the education system.
It does.
That skills gap is what education is now scrambling to fill. And the sources show this is a global, very rapid adaptation. It's not just a few new courses.
No, it's a foundational shift. You see it in the academic response from universities. They're expanding their curricula everywhere. And it's not just pure AI theory courses. It's interdisciplinary stuff like AI for business majors or human-machine interaction.
So AI literacy is the new digital literacy.
It's becoming just as critical. The goal is to give every graduate a solid foundation in AI principles so they can innovate, whatever their field is.
It's interesting. The digest points out that even computer science programs are shifting. Less focus on memorizing specific programming syntax.
And more on complex problem solving, data interpretation, and, crucially, prompt engineering.
The skill is asking the right question.
That's becoming the highest value skill. And because that need is so immediate, the industry is jumping in to bridge the gap. We're seeing these critical partnerships between tech companies and universities.
What do those partnerships look like on the ground?
They look like hyper-focused training and certification programs. A company can't wait 4 years for a college to produce the talent it needs right now. So these certifications are modular, they're industry-specific, and they're immediately relevant. They're a much faster path to those high-demand jobs.
And these programs have a huge dual benefit, right?
Yeah.
Especially for people already in the workforce.
They're vital for 2 reasons. One, they bridge that immediate skills gap. You take a valuable, experienced employee, and you quickly make them an AI collaborator. And 2, maybe the more important long-term effect, is they create a culture of lifelong learning.
Because the tech will change again in 2 years.
Exactly. With the pace AI is evolving, if you're not constantly updating your knowledge, you risk falling behind very, very quickly. These programs make that continuous learning a reality.
So for you, the learner, seeking that quick, thorough knowledge, you are exactly who this entire global shift is for. The system is adapting to make this accessible.
Because that foundational knowledge is no longer just a nice to have. It's becoming a basic requirement for professional relevance.
So let's pull it all together. What does this all mean? We've seen AI as a co-creator, redefining art, AI as an efficiency engine, changing the workplace, and AI as a curriculum driver, forcing education to evolve.
I think the single core takeaway is that AI isn't just impacting one area, it's simultaneously raising the bar for human contribution across the board. In art, you have to be more conceptually creative. In work, you have to be more strategic. And in education, you have to be more adaptable than ever. The conversation is over about if it's coming. Now it's about how we respond.
A perfect synthesis. But let me leave you with one final provocative thought that sort of builds on all three of those areas. We've established that AI can create art with impressive precision. It can handle incredibly complex data analysis.
Right.
So the question to really mull over is this. How long will it be until we see advanced AI tools focused entirely on teaching? designing the curriculum, generating personalized learning paths for students, even evaluating and iterating on the next generation of AI education programs themselves.
That's a fascinating question.
The future of the teacher might be just as dynamic, just as subject to this disruption as the future of the artist or the analyst. And that connects every single thread we've pulled today. Thank you for diving into these sources with us. Stay curious, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.